Hi everyone, welcome to yet another episode of The Secret Letters. I'm extremely happy and glad that you people are writing to us, and some of them have messages telling that you are liking the sessions now that it is shortened and it is just 2 episodes each, so you people are liking the shortened version. You're also liking the small little DIY tips that we have included in our videos. So today again we have an interesting and an emotional and a very important topic to be discussed, and this is a letter written by someone we know very well, and we know her as a wonderful human being, as a lovely person. It's about a young lady who is well educated, working in a reputed organization, has very strong family values, is very closely connected to her friends and her family and her cousins and everyone. She is loved by almost everyone that I know about or I have heard about. We can call her Lily for today. So Lily is a wonderful woman, I must say that again and again. So she was into a couple of relationships. She had 2 relationships earlier. The first one, she was in love from school days to the college days. Unfortunately, there was an accident and she lost him, and that is when she was in a very, very low state, very, very depressed state of mind, almost slipped into depression. With great difficulty, she somehow got over it and she was going ahead with life, and life is always full of surprises, right? So the family decided to get her married and found a suitable match, and that took a real long time after the death of the first person she was in love with, that she agreed to get married after a very long time, and after a lot of coaxing and convincing from the family, she agreed to get married. So during the time of understanding phase, that is before the engagement, they used to meet regularly just to get to know each other better. They were very happy because they were of the same age, and they also had similar interests. They really liked each other, and they always longed to meet again and again. So every time they met, they felt comfortable. Day after day, they felt comfortable. But after some time, as the engagement was approaching, she realized that he was a little too overboard, in the sense she's not supposed to use makeup, she's not supposed to meet her friends, she's not even supposed to go out with her brother. So it was a little too much for her to handle. So she decided that, this is not going the right way, and in the long run, it can cause certain problems in her life, and she decided to end that relationship as well. So the second one, though arranged, she did fall in love with him gradually, and that too had to end. Sometimes it is so strange, why do people end up in relationship, or rather, why do people fall in love? Because there is an element of trust and understanding and comfort with the other person. Nobody falls into a relationship, or nobody actually decides to be in a relationship to break it. But the society is not like that, like society or the family, few extended family members, cousins, aunts, and in India though we have even neighbors as our aunts and uncles, and they all have the right of opinion on our lives. So if one relationship doesn't happen, and they go on to another relationship, people might have more than one relationship, and then they start talking about it, they start name calling. There's a lot of pressure on them, sending a lot of negativity towards them. But that is not the reality. If there is no comfort, if there is no happiness, there is no point in going ahead. So that is why she had to end that relationship. And she almost decided that she doesn't want to get married, and she was really out of it, and she was growing in her career. So one by one, things were turning out to be bright and beautiful and wonderful, and she started enjoying her life at her own level. That's when Lily happened to meet her childhood friend who knew everything about her. So he happened to join the same organization, and they started reliving the moments, like they started talking the nostalgia, the aspect of nostalgia when they were in school, when they were in college, about her love life, about his love life. They knew each other, but they were not like, thick friends or anything. They knew each other. So they were neighbors too. So when they know each other, the comfort is more. So they start going out for coffee, and they spend a lot of time talking, and eventually she falls in love. Rather, both of them fall in love. And I still remember the way she explained. She said, this looks like the match, a match made in heaven. So she was very happy and delighted about things going really well. So at one point of time, she just said that, things are definitely not going to be right in my life. That's how exactly she expressed it. Mainly because one day he just told her that he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and sometimes he does have episodes of it. So he didn't tell her in the initial stage. It was when the relationship started moving forward and they had spoken to their parents and they were deciding about moving ahead and getting married and starting a family. They had decided all that, and that is when he expressed this. So somewhere Lily feels like this guy has hid something, or rather he had hidden this fact until she was totally into him. And on the other end, she feels like she should be careful enough of not going ahead with this relationship, because she has anyways not had a good life till now. On the another side of it, she started feeling like, what will people say? What will the society say? What will her parents think? What will her friends think? Because it's been series of things. First one, it was accidental. Second, she moved off it. Now third, she has found a reason, and again she's going to be blamed. So the society has such a role in ruining people's life and in building people's life, because this is India. Our culture is like that, where a lot of people feel they have the right to share an opinion about another person's life. Now her confusion here is, since it is a psychological issue, it's a mental health issue, she wants to know whether it is wise enough to go ahead with the relationship with the man who's diagnosed with schizophrenia, or she should step back. Now she is in a state of confusion. So what I want to say is, I generally do not discourage people from moving ahead with their relationships with anyone, no matter what kind of an ailment or drawback they have. If there is a spark, and if they really feel that they're getting all that they wanted in the other person, no matter that person is ill, has some other issues, divorced or anything, anything, the so-called not so acceptable category for the parents. But if you are comfortable, and if you think that you really know that this person is capable of keeping you happy, you should move ahead. Now, I have a question to the same person who has written to me, and a lot of people who are thinking in the similar terms. If in case you were married to that person, and down the lane, probably 10 years down marriage, like 10 years down the lane, having 10 years of togetherness, and you realize that the other person is schizophrenic, would you walk out of that marriage? It's as simple as that. You wouldn't walk out, right? You would try to solve it out. So how much can you solve, and to what extent you can take it is what matters. See, the person who's written to us clearly has an idea of what schizophrenia is. See, some of the symptoms that is included in schizophrenia will be hallucinations, delusions. There is no issues with emotions, issues with memory, issues with expression. So it is all bound together a complicated disorder. It is not something to be taken lightly. It definitely needs medication. So about schizophrenia, when I say it is a difficult task, it is not an easy task to live your life with someone who has got schizophrenia. Okay, but it is not impossible. So it is all dependent on you, and the decision has to be taken by you. All that I can do is tell you how your life would be if you go ahead with that person, and the choice is yours. You want to go ahead, you go ahead. How confident you are, whether you can manage it or no, you need to take a realistic decision. Not a decision for the society, not a decision for family, not a decision for anyone else, a decision for you. Decision exclusively for your life and your happiness is what you need to take. Okay, so this was about a small briefing about the letter which was written. I would like to touch upon the facts or certain things that people need to keep in mind while you are deciding to go ahead or not with someone who is diagnosed with schizophrenia. All that I will cover in detail in the coming session. So keep watching. Okay, thank you.